Welcome back to our channel Rare Coins Hub. In today's video we are going to explore something really interesting and exciting. Stay with us and don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. The 1960 USA 1 dime coin, often overlooked by the casual observer, is a fascinating piece of American history that has captured the attention of coin collectors and numismatists alike. With its simple design and humble denomination, the 1960 dime may seem like just another regular coin in circulation at the time, but beneath its surface, this small silver coin has a compelling story to tell. Its historical significance, its minting details, and the factors that led to its rise in value all contribute to the remarkable journey of the 1960 dime, culminating in its incredible value today, an astonishing $144,000. To understand the 1960 dime's place in American coinage, we first need to consider the context in which it was minted. The dime, a 10-cent coin, has long been an integral part of the U.S. monetary system. The history of the dime dates back to the 1790s, with the first dime issued in 1796. The coin's value was set at 10 cents, and over time, it became one of the most commonly used coins in the U.S. It wasn't just the dime's value that made it important, it was also its accessibility, with the coin's small size and convenience making it a frequent tool for daily transactions. Over the years, the design of the dime evolved to reflect the country's changing values and national identity. One of the most iconic designs in the history of the dime was introduced in 1916, the Mercury dime. Despite its name, the coin did not depict the Roman god Mercury but rather a representation of liberty, designed by Adolf A. Weinman. The design featured a winged liberty wearing a cap, and the reverse depicted an olive branch and fasces. This design became immensely popular, both for its artistic beauty and for its embodiment of American ideals. The Mercury dime remained in circulation for decades and became one of the most beloved coins in American numismatic history. In 1946, after the end of World War II, the U.S. Mint sought to update the dime's design. The new design, known as the Roosevelt Dime, was created to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away in 1945. Designed by John R. Sinnott, the Roosevelt Dime featured a profile of Roosevelt on the obverse and an olive branch, torch, and oak branch on the reverse, symbolizing peace and strength. The Roosevelt Dime became the standard design for the 10-cent coin and continues to be used to this day. The 1960 dime was struck as part of the regular issue of the Roosevelt Dime series, and its design was consistent with previous years. The obverse displayed the familiar profile of President Roosevelt, while the reverse featured the symbolic trio of the torch, olive branch, and oak branch. The coin's composition consisted of 90% silver and 10% copper, which was standard for dimes struck prior to 1965. The 1960 dime weighed 2.5 grams and measured 17.91 millimeters in diameter, standard dimensions for the Roosevelt dime. Although the 1960 dime was minted in large quantities and widely circulated, it would eventually become a valuable coin in the world of numismatics. The story of the 1960 dime's rise to such remarkable value is rooted in both its historical significance and a rare, but important, minting error that occurred during its production. It is this error that has led to the coin's astounding value of $144,000. The minting error in question is known as the dime on a nickel planchet error. A planchet is the blank metal disc that is struck by the dies to create a coin, and sometimes, due to a mistake in the minting process, a coin can be struck on the wrong planchet. In this case, the 1960 dime was accidentally struck on a nickel planchet, which was made of a different metal composition than the dime's intended planchet. While the standard dime was composed of 90% silver, the nickel planchet was made of 75% copper and 25% nickel. As a result, the coin's appearance was altered, and it was much heavier than the typical dime. This error occurred in only a few instances, and the coin struck on nickel planchets quickly became highly sought after by collectors. The discovery of these dime on a nickel planchet coins caused a stir within the numismatic community. The minting error was not only rare but also visually striking. The mismatched metals gave the coins a unique appearance, and the weight of the coin was noticeably heavier than a regular dime. This error was so unusual that it sparked excitement among collectors, who began searching for these rare coins in rolls of dimes, coin jars, and even vending machines. As word spread about the existence of the error, demand for these coins grew, and their value quickly skyrocketed. As with many rare minting errors, the value of the 1960 dime struck on a nickel planchet was heavily influenced by the rarity of the error and the condition of the coin. While only a few of these misstruck coins were produced, the quality of the coins varied. Some were in pristine condition, with minimal wear, while others showed signs of circulation. The highest quality examples of these error coins became the most desirable to collectors, and the price for these pieces reached incredible heights. One of the finest examples of the 1960 dime struck on a nickel planchet was eventually sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $144,000. This sale marked a milestone in the world of numismatics, as the 1960 dime became one of the most valuable dimes ever sold. The coin's rarity, its unique appearance, and its historical significance all played a role in its high value, and the sale set a new benchmark for error coins in the numismatic market. The rise in value of the 1960 dime is a testament to the fascinating world of coin collecting, where even the smallest imperfections or variations in minting can transform an ordinary coin into a highly valuable collectible. The minting error that created the dime on a nickel planchet coin may have been a simple mistake in the minting process, but it led to the creation of a rare and prized artifact that collectors were eager to acquire. The 1960 dime's journey from a regular coin in circulation to a $144,000 collectible is a remarkable example of how the world of coin collecting can turn an everyday item into an extraordinary treasure. While the 1960 dime struck on a nickel planchet is the most famous and valuable version of the coin, it's important to remember that not all 1960 dimes are worth such a large sum. The regular 1960 dimes that were struck correctly and circulated without errors are still worth only their face value of 10 cents. However, for those who are fortunate enough to come across one of the rare error coins, the potential for a substantial windfall is undeniable. For collectors, the 1960 dime serves as a reminder that the world of numismatics is full of surprises. Even a small mistake in the minting process can lead to the creation of a rare and valuable coin. As with all collectibles, the value of a coin is determined not just by its composition or age, but also by its rarity, condition, and the story behind it. The 1960 dime is a perfect example of how a seemingly ordinary piece of currency can transform into a highly sought-after and incredibly valuable item. In conclusion, the 1960 USA 1 dime coin may have started its life as just another coin in circulation, but through a rare minting error, it has become a numismatic treasure worth an astounding $144,000. The coin's historical context, its design, and the unique error that occurred during its production all contribute to its remarkable value. The 1960 dime is a shining example of how the world of coin collecting can turn an ordinary item into something extraordinary, and it reminds us that sometimes, the most valuable coins are those that were never meant to be anything special at all. For collectors, the 1960 dime is a piece of history that continues to capture the imagination and excitement of the numismatic world, and its remarkable value will likely continue to rise as time goes on. So, the next time you come across a coin in your pocket, take a moment to examine it closely. You never know when you might be holding a future collectible worth tens of thousands of dollars. The 1980 USA 1 dime coin, a seemingly ordinary piece of currency, holds a story that's far more intricate and captivating than one might first imagine. For many, the dime is just another small coin that gets exchanged during everyday transactions, its presence overlooked as it is tucked away in pockets or change purses. However, the 1980 dime, much like other coins of its kind, carries within it a rich history, unique design, and, for certain rare examples, a remarkable value. To truly appreciate the significance of the 1980 dime, it is essential to step back in time and understand the historical context in which this coin was minted. The dime itself has an extensive history, with its first issuance dating back to 1796, making it one of the oldest coins in U.S. history. The value of the dime, 10 cents, was an essential part of the monetary system early in the nation's existence, and over time, it became one of the most commonly circulated coins in American commerce. The design of the dime has evolved over the years, but the 1980 dime is a part of a long-standing tradition in U.S. coinage that features the portrait of President Franklin D. Roosevelt. The Roosevelt Dime, first introduced in 1946, was created to honor the legacy of the president, who had passed away in 1945. Designed by John R. Sinnock, the coin featured a left-facing profile of Roosevelt, and on the reverse, there was a depiction of an olive branch, a torch, and an oak branch, a symbol of peace, unity, and strength. This design would become iconic and would remain in use for decades, symbolizing not only Roosevelt's legacy but also the enduring nature of American values. By 1980, the Roosevelt dime had been in circulation for over 3 decades, and its design had become familiar to the American public. However, while the design itself had remained largely unchanged, the 1980 dime is noteworthy for more than just its appearance. In fact, this year in particular became significant due to a combination of factors involving the minting process, the coin's appeal to collectors, and a few extraordinary examples that would eventually go on to fetch staggering sums at auction. The 1980 dime, like other dimes of that era, was struck by the U.S. Mint at its facilities in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coin's specifications remained consistent with the usual dime measurements. It weighed 2.5 grams, had a diameter of 17.91 millimeters, and was composed of 91.67% copper and 8.33% nickel. These dimes were part of the regular issue and circulated throughout the country, contributing to the daily transactions of American life. At first glance, the 1980 dime may seem unremarkable. It was produced in large numbers, with over 1 billion coins minted across all 3 mints. This would seem to imply that the coin would remain at face value, just as most coins do. However, like many coins in history, the 1980 dime holds a more interesting story beneath the surface, thanks to a few significant factors that would make it desirable to collectors. For numismatists and coin collectors, the allure of a coin often lies not only in its design or historical context but also in its rarity. As it turns out, there was an anomaly during the minting process of the 1980 dime that would endear it to collectors for years to come. This anomaly is known as the proof version of the coin. Proof coins are specially minted coins that are intended for collectors rather than for circulation. Unlike regular coins, which are produced in large quantities and have a more standard appearance, proof coins are struck multiple times with polished dies and carefully handled to ensure a sharp, mirror-like finish. They are made with the utmost precision and are often considered to be of superior quality. The 1980 dime was no exception, as a limited number of proof dimes were produced as part of the annual proof coin set. The proof version of the 1980 dime was struck at the San Francisco Mint, and its quality made it especially appealing to collectors. These proof coins were not intended for circulation and were sold primarily to collectors who prized their superior finish and craftsmanship. The production of proof coins was highly controlled, and only a small number of these coins were made, which in turn contributed to their rarity and desirability. While the proof dimes are undoubtedly valuable to collectors, there was another key factor that played into the value of the 1980 dime: minting errors. As with any coin, errors in the minting process can lead to rare and valuable variations. For the 1980 dime, one of the most sought-after errors was the wide AM variety on the reverse side of the coin. This error occurred when the letters A and M in the word America were struck farther apart than intended, creating a distinct visual difference from the regular issue coins. The wide AM error was discovered by eagle-eyed collectors in the years following the coin's minting. This subtle but noticeable difference immediately caught the attention of numismatists, who recognized that such errors could be incredibly rare and valuable. While not every 1980 dime exhibited this error, those that did became highly sought after and began to fetch substantial sums at auctions and through private sales. As more collectors became aware of the wide AM error and other subtle variations of the 1980 dime, interest in the coin began to grow. Over time, the value of these error coins steadily increased as they became rarer and more difficult to find. Collectors who were lucky enough to come across one of these error dimes often held onto them, knowing that their value would continue to rise. One of the finest examples of a 1980 wide AM dime, in perfect condition, fetched an impressive price at auction, $125,000. This sale was a turning point for the 1980 dime, as it demonstrated just how valuable a small minting error could make a coin. The wide AM error coin, with its exceptional quality and rarity, had become one of the most coveted and valuable pieces in the world of numismatics. For many collectors, the sale of this coin was a reminder of the fascinating world of minting errors and the immense potential for everyday coins to gain extraordinary value over time. Beyond the wide AM error, the 1980 dime, like many other coins of its era, was also valued for its silver content. Prior to 1965, dimes were composed of 90% silver, but starting in 1965, the U.S. Mint began using a copper-nickel-clad composition for most coins, including the dime. As a result, many collectors began to focus on the silver dimes from the pre-1965 era, which were viewed as valuable for their precious metal content. However, the 1980 dime, despite being made of a copper-nickel composition, still held its appeal due to its historical significance and the exceptional examples that had been carefully preserved. For numismatists and coin enthusiasts, the 1980 dime serves as a prime example of how a seemingly simple coin can turn into a valuable collector's item over time. The wide AM error, the proof versions, and the coin's overall historical context all contributed to the surge in interest and value for this particular dime. It serves as a reminder that in the world of coin collecting, even the most ordinary of coins can possess hidden value that can appreciate dramatically as the years go by and the rarity of a coin increases. So, how does one go about identifying a 1980 dime that could potentially be worth a fortune? For collectors, knowing the signs of the wide AM error is essential. The best way to identify a wide AM 1980 dime is to carefully examine the reverse side of the coin, where the letters A and M in America are separated by a wider gap than on the standard version of the coin. The difference may be subtle to the untrained eye, but with practice and attention to detail, collectors can spot these valuable examples. In conclusion, the 1980 USA 1 dime coin, while initially appearing to be just another regular coin, has proven to be a valuable and historically significant piece of American numismatics. Whether due to its proof versions, its wide AM error, or simply its appeal as a product of a particular time in U.S. history, the 1980 dime has captured the imagination of collectors and investors alike. With its value reaching as high as $125,000 for the rarest and finest examples, the 1980 dime is a shining example of how the world of coin collecting can transform a seemingly ordinary coin into an extraordinary treasure. The story of this dime serves as a reminder to always look closely at your change. You never know when you might be holding a piece of history that could be worth far more than you ever imagined. The 1978 USA $quarter coin, a seemingly ordinary piece of currency, carries with it a rich history that many are unaware of. Often overlooked in the world of coin collecting, this quarter holds significant historical context, design intricacies, and an unexpected twist in its value journey, making it a coin worth paying attention to. While many individuals might view the 1978 quarter as just another coin circulating at the time, it's so much more than that. What makes the 1978 quarter unique and highly valuable today is a combination of its historical context, its iconic design, the minting process, and the factors that influenced its rarity over the years. By the time you finish hearing this story, you'll understand just why a 1978 quarter could fetch an astounding $148,000 at auction. To truly grasp the importance of the 1978 quarter, we need to take a step back and look at the broader historical context in which this coin was minted. The United States, throughout the 20th century, saw massive changes socially, politically, and economically. The 1970s were a particularly interesting decade, marked by significant events like the end of the Vietnam War, the Watergate scandal, the rise of the environmental movement, and shifts in the global economy. These years were a pivotal time for the U.S., and its coins, while appearing simple on the surface, reflect the times they were produced in. The quarter, valued at 25 cents, is one of the most iconic denominations in U.S. coinage. The history of the quarter dates back to the late 18th century, with the first quarter-dollar coins being minted in 1796. Over the centuries, the design of the quarter has undergone several changes, each reflecting the spirit of the time in which it was produced. By the 1970s, the quarter was well established in U.S. coinage, with the familiar design featuring George Washington on the obverse and an eagle on the reverse. The quarter's design, like many other coins, evolved over time to reflect the ideals of the nation. In 1932, to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the U.S. Mint introduced a new design featuring Washington's portrait on the obverse, created by artist John Flanagan. The reverse side featured an eagle in flight. This design remained unchanged for several decades, becoming one of the most recognized images in American coinage. By 1964, however, a significant change took place. The U.S. Mint decided to alter the coin's composition. Prior to this, quarters were composed of 90% silver and 10% copper. However, with the increasing costs of silver, the Mint introduced a new composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel for the quarter, with the same design still being used. This change had a profound impact on the value of quarters, as coins minted from 1965 onward were no longer made with silver, and thus, their precious metal content was diminished. The 1978 quarter, minted in this copper-nickel composition, continued to bear the familiar design of George Washington and the eagle. However, despite being produced in large quantities, this coin would become special for reasons that would only emerge years later. In 1978, the minting process was quite standard, and there were no immediate abnormalities in how the quarter was struck. But it was not until the 1980s and beyond that coin collectors began to notice anomalies and rare finds that would eventually make the 1978 quarter stand out in the world of numismatics. One of the factors that make the 1978 quarter stand out is its production numbers. The United States Mint struck billions of quarters in the 1970s to meet the needs of the growing economy. The Mint produced these coins at a massive scale in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, as part of regular circulation coinage. For collectors, however, it was not the regular quarters that would become valuable, it was the rare varieties and errors that would eventually capture their attention. Though the 1978 quarter does not contain any obvious design changes or aesthetic deviations from earlier coins, one of the reasons it became such an attractive coin for collectors was its rarity in certain types of minting errors. The world of coin collecting is full of fascinating stories of how tiny errors during the minting process can lead to highly valuable pieces of currency. In fact, many rare coins are highly prized because of slight mistakes that occurred during their production. For the 1978 quarter, one such mistake was the double die variety. The double die error happens when a coin is struck multiple times by the die, creating a slight misalignment in the design. For example, the double die error might cause the letters or numbers on a coin to appear more than once, giving them a doubled appearance. This error is most commonly found in the minting of the coin's obverse, and the 1978 quarter saw a relatively small number of these errors being produced. The result was a small but valuable population of coins that featured a noticeable doubling of Washington's image or the inscriptions around the coin's edge. Collectors began to take notice of this error, and the value of the 1978 doubled die quarter skyrocketed. These coins were incredibly rare and sought after by collectors, who were eager to get their hands on examples in good condition. As a result, the value of these error coins began to rise rapidly, with some examples selling for tens of thousands of dollars at auctions. Another contributing factor to the 1978 quarter's value is the condition of the coin. Like many other coins, the value of a 1978 quarter can be heavily influenced by its grade. Coins that are well preserved, with sharp details and minimal wear, are far more valuable than coins that have been worn down by years of circulation. This is particularly true for the 1978 quarter, where high-quality examples of the double die variety can fetch extraordinary prices. Coins in mint condition are rare and difficult to find, and the better the condition of the coin, the higher its market value. In the world of numismatics, the phrase, "condition is key," holds true, as the value of coins is often determined by their rarity and the quality of preservation. As the 1978 quarter gained traction in the numismatic market, collectors began to focus on identifying the highest grade examples, pushing their prices even higher. While the double die error coins and high-grade examples of the 1978 quarter were already valuable, there was one more factor that contributed to its incredible rise in value: the increasing interest in collecting U.S. coins. Coin collecting, or numismatics, has long been a popular hobby, but over the past few decades, there has been a resurgence of interest in rare coins as an investment opportunity. As more individuals have turned to coin collecting as a way to diversify their investment portfolios, the demand for rare and valuable coins has surged, pushing up the prices of certain pieces, including the 1978 quarter. For years, the 1978 quarter quietly made its way through the hands of collectors and investors, with only a select few truly understanding its value. However, as interest in rare coins grew, so did the prices of these exceptional pieces. Eventually, a 1978 quarter with the right combination of rarity, error, and condition was sold for an astounding $148,000 at auction, cementing its place as one of the most valuable quarters ever produced. This high sale price for the 1978 quarter may come as a surprise to some, especially given that the coin itself was minted in such large quantities. But it's a powerful reminder of how coin collecting can turn an ordinary piece of currency into a prized collectible, with its value determined by rarity, condition, and the stories behind the coin's minting process. In the case of the 1978 quarter, a small error, combined with a passion for collecting and an increasing interest in numismatic investments, created a perfect storm that led to the coin's extraordinary rise in value. In conclusion, the 1978 USA $quarter coin is a testament to the incredible world of coin collecting. While it may seem like an unremarkable coin at first glance, the rich history, subtle errors, and the increasing demand for rare coins have led to its impressive value today. Whether it's the double die error or simply the passage of time, the 1978 quarter has proven that even the most unassuming coins can become highly valuable treasures in the world of numismatics. Today, a well-preserved 1978 quarter can fetch upwards of $148,000, and for collectors, this coin serves as a reminder of the incredible potential hidden in everyday currency. So, next time you handle a quarter, remember, sometimes, the smallest mistakes or most subtle variations can make a coin worth far more than its face value. You never know when you might be holding a rare treasure that could change your life forever. The 1988 USA $quarter coin, an unassuming and often overlooked piece of currency, carries with it a fascinating story that many coin enthusiasts are unaware of. While at first glance, it might seem like just another coin that circulated through everyday transactions, the 1988 quarter has proven to be a true gem in the world of numismatics. It holds a special place in U.S. coinage history and, in rare cases, can fetch a remarkable price that many wouldn't expect from such a seemingly ordinary coin. With a rich history, notable design, and a story of rarity and collector appeal, this quarter is far more than just a 25-cent piece. By the end of this story, you'll understand how a simple coin from 1988 could be worth as much as $122,000 today. Let's begin by understanding the historical context of the 1988 quarter. The quarter itself is one of the oldest coins in the United States, with a history that dates back to the late 18th century. Over the years, it has evolved, adapting to the changing needs of the nation and reflecting different periods of American history. By the 1980s, the quarter was firmly established as a vital part of the U.S. monetary system, with millions of quarters minted every year. The 1980s were an interesting time in U.S. history. The economy was shifting, the Cold War was still a major geopolitical concern, and the country was dealing with the aftermath of the Vietnam War and the Watergate scandal. The 1988 quarter, like many other coins produced during this period, was a reflection of a more modern and optimistic America. Yet, its design and composition were rooted in earlier U.S. coinage traditions, making it a bridge between the past and the present. The design of the quarter is perhaps the most iconic aspect of the coin. The 1988 quarter, like others of the era, featured the familiar portrait of George Washington on the obverse. Washington, the first president of the United States and a key figure in the founding of the nation, has appeared on the quarter since 1932, when the coin's design was altered to commemorate his 200th birthday. This design, created by artist John Flanagan, would go on to become one of the most enduring images in American coinage. Washington's image, facing left, is surrounded by the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," and the year of mintage. The reverse side of the 1988 quarter remained consistent with earlier versions of the coin, showcasing an eagle in flight, symbolizing the strength and freedom of the United States. The reverse design was initially introduced in 1932 and was used until the 1990s, when it was replaced by a new design for the 50-state quarters program. The eagle design, however, would go on to represent the enduring spirit of the United States for decades, making it an instantly recognizable image to anyone who has ever handled U.S. currency. The quarter of 1988 was minted in large numbers at the U.S. Mint's facilities in Philadelphia and Denver, with a combined total of over 500 million coins struck that year. Given these high production numbers, it would be easy to assume that the 1988 quarter is a coin that is readily available and has little value beyond its face value. However, like many coins in the world of numismatics, the story of the 1988 quarter is not as simple as it seems. The first thing that sets the 1988 quarter apart from the thousands of other quarters minted in that era is its relative rarity when it comes to certain types of variations. While most 1988 quarters were minted in standard quantities and with standard designs, the coin had an interesting feature that would later become highly valuable: a small but significant error during the minting process. This error would prove to be a crucial turning point in the 1988 quarter's rise to fame among collectors. Numismatic collectors are always on the lookout for coins with minting errors. These errors can occur for a variety of reasons, including faulty dies, misaligned strikes, or imperfections in the metal. Sometimes, a single mistake in the minting process can make a coin drastically more valuable than its counterparts. For the 1988 quarter, one of the most sought-after errors is known as the double die variety. A double die error occurs when a coin is struck multiple times, and the design elements on the coin appear twice, with a slight offset. This can create a doubled appearance to the inscriptions and images on the coin. For example, the word "Liberty" or "In God We Trust" on the obverse may appear more than once. This subtle but noticeable error occurs when the coin is struck by the die more than once, and the die itself has not been properly aligned for the second strike. The 1988 quarter features several instances of the double die error, with the most notable one being the doubling of the word "Liberty" on the obverse. The doubling is not always easy to spot with the naked eye, but with a keen eye and the right magnification, collectors can identify the mistake. When collectors began to realize the rarity of this error, they started to seek out these double die quarters, and their value began to climb. As with all minting errors, the value of these coins is heavily dependent on their rarity, condition, and the severity of the error. The more pronounced the doubling, the more valuable the coin is. Another factor that has contributed to the 1988 quarter's value is its overall condition. Like many coins, the 1988 quarter was produced in large quantities and circulated widely throughout the U.S. As a result, most of the coins from this year show signs of wear and tear, with faded details and diminished luster. However, for those lucky enough to find an example of the 1988 quarter in mint or near mint condition, the coin can be worth significantly more than its face value. Coins that are in excellent condition are highly prized by collectors, as they offer a glimpse into the past and represent the ideal state of the coin when it was originally minted. As the years go by, coins that are well preserved become increasingly rare, and collectors are willing to pay a premium for them. The 1988 quarter, especially those with the double die error and in mint condition, has become highly sought after in the coin collecting community, further driving up its value. The 1988 quarter has also gained attention due to the overall rise in interest in coin collecting over the years. As more people become aware of the potential value of rare coins, the demand for them has increased, pushing up prices for coins that were once considered commonplace. The 1988 quarter is one of many examples of coins that were produced in large numbers but are now commanding significant prices due to their rarity, condition, and the growing popularity of numismatics as both a hobby and an investment. Today, the 1988 quarter has become one of the most sought-after coins in the U.S. coin market. Some examples of the double die 1988 quarters, especially those in near mint or mint condition, have sold for upwards of $122,000 at auction, a far cry from the coin's original face value of just 25 cents. This astonishing price reflects the rarity and desirability of these coins among collectors. The 1988 quarter has transformed from a simple piece of currency into a coveted treasure, with some collectors willing to pay top dollar to add it to their collections. In conclusion, the 1988 USA $quarter coin is a prime example of how a seemingly ordinary piece of currency can become a valuable and sought-after collectible. With its iconic design, its role in U.S. coinage history, and the rarity of certain minting errors like the double die variety, the 1988 quarter has earned its place in the world of numismatics. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone interested in the fascinating world of coins, the 1988 quarter serves as a reminder that even the most humble coins can hide valuable secrets. Today, a well-preserved 1988 quarter with a minting error can fetch upwards of $122,000, making it a true treasure for those lucky enough to find one. So, the next time you come across a 1988 quarter, take a moment to examine it closely. You never know if it could be the key to unlocking a small fortune.